A pivot point is a point in someone's life when they have to step back and look at their life and they realize something. And sometimes you just change. And you do it instantly and you never look back. Well, when I was growing up, there were some issues in my family, and I don't want to go into details on who was who and all that stuff. I don't want to expose anybody. But let's just say I had a relative who drank a lot. And when this relative drank a lot, they were not a happy drunk. They were the opposite. They were a mean drunk. And I remember one night I was about 11, I guess. 11 years old, maybe. Yeah, I was 11 years old. And there was a big party at my house, and I remember they were all getting drunk outside. So I came inside, and I was just sitting in the living room, and I still see it as clear as day. I even know what the couch looks like that I was sitting on. It was this peachy-colored couch with weird flower patterns. And I'm sitting on the couch, and the room was dark. The TV was off. I can hear everybody outside, and I'm just sitting there in the dark. And suddenly this relative walks in and collapses on the couch in the room. Didn't even see me there. And this relative is just acting like a total idiot, saying just stupid things, things you would never say in front of an 11-year-old, but they didn't know I was there. Then this relative's closest friends walks in, someone they never got in a fight with before, always got along with, and this friend is like, hey, you okay? Maybe it's best if you sleep it out. And this relative starts getting into a fight with this person. And I'm sitting there watching all this happen. They just didn't even notice me. Nobody noticed me there. And I'm looking at it going, I don't ever want to be like that. This relative looks like an absolute idiot. An absolute idiot. It's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. Then the other drunk relatives outside thought it would be funny to lie to this relative and tell them that this person had gotten so drunk they went and stood over the grill, and we were using, you know those half-barrel grills? It's like a barrel cut in half. And stood above it and took a whiz all over the grill, all over the hamburgers and everything. It never happened, but they thought it'd be funny to tell him that. Well, I was so disgusted with that behavior that it just stayed with me for quite a while. Now, this particular relative was also did a lot of lying at the time, and a lot of promises that weren't kept and things like that. But the lying was just too much, too much. Well, one day when I was about, I have to say it was, I'm trying to think of that age. I think it was probably 12, because I think everything just escalated. And I remember sitting in that same living room. This time I remember the chair had been moved to, no, actually I was sitting on that couch. I was sitting on that couch, and I remember it was a cloudy day, an overcast day. It was kind of cool out. I remember it wasn't that warm. And I just sat on that couch, and I made a pact with myself. And I don't think I said this out loud. I know I think my mother was in the kitchen, and some of her relatives were visiting her that day. So I just sat on the couch, and I said to myself, you know, I can't be that way. Because that night stayed with me. And I said, I don't want to be that way. I don't want anybody to ever see me like that. I don't want to be that drunk where someone could lie to me and tell me I did something that I didn't do, but I would believe them because I was that drunk. And I don't want to be so drunk that I would attack my own friends unprovoked. And I don't want to be that drunk where I wouldn't even notice my own relative in the room with me who was only 11, and I would say horrible, nasty things. And I don't want to smoke like a chain smoker nonstop and smell like that, because that's also what this person did. And I just kept running these things through my head that day. And I I said, and I don't want to make promises that I can't keep. I don't want to do that. I can't do that. I don't want what was done to me to be done to other people by me. I just told myself, okay, you are never, ever going to get drunk in your lifetime. You're just not. You are never going to get drunk. Then I told myself, and you are never going to smoke a cigarette, ever. You're not going to pick one up. You don't do it. Third, you are never going to lie again. Do not lie. Do not make promises. You are not going to do it. I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to stay with that. But I felt that I was strong enough. And I always felt that I was strong enough. That I couldn't let people influence me. And I wouldn't let them. And when I got in school, I worried about that, with peer pressure. But I kept telling myself, no, you're strong enough. Well, I'm in my 30s now. I have never been drunk. Ever. I never drank beer. As a matter of fact, I've never had a beer. The only time I ever had a taste of beer was when I was a kid. And my father said, hey, you want a sip? And, a lot of fathers have done that with their kids. So that's the only time I've ever tasted beer. Now, I'm not against alcohol. During holidays, I'll have wine. I've had champagne. But that's really as far as I go. And usually it's one glass. I've never smoked a cigarette. As a matter of fact, I can't be near cigarettes. They make me sick. I can't be near them. I don't want to smell them. I hate it. And I haven't lied. I haven't lied. And that is the toughest one. Not drinking? Easy. Not smoking? Easy. No one can influence me. People just can't. I never had any peer pressure on me. I was so strong that nobody even tried with me. Nobody ever offered me drugs or a cigarette or any of that. They just knew. He's pretty strong in his convictions. There's no way. No way. So they never tried. But the lying, it's tough because sometimes you don't want to say something that might hurt someone else. And that's hard because I don't want to hurt people. But at the same time, I'd rather hurt them with the truth than with a lie. Because they would have to find it in their heart to forgive me if I lied, but they don't have to forgive me if I tell them the truth. Because I told them the truth. They will respect me. And sure, whatever I may say may sting, but they will always respect me. They will always trust me. So I don't lie. When I started working in this business, and I mostly talk about affiliate marketing, but this goes for all my businesses. I made sure to make that honesty show. I knew it would be tough. We live in a world now where people don't trust anybody, and hey, I'm with you. I don't trust anybody either. So how do you come across as being honest where people can eventually get to know you and say, hey, this guy really is honest. He really does tell the truth all the time. So it took a while to do that, but I knew it would take time. I knew I'd had to make a lot of videos over time and just prove it. But yet people are so non-trusting, they will still accuse you of lying. My Etsy business where I build electric hurricane lanterns. I was very clear, and I'm very clear in my description, when I say that I take real kerosene lanterns and convert them to electric. Which means that I am buying hurricane lanterns. I am buying them. And then I turn them into electric. So I had a person buy a lantern, and on the bottom of the lantern, there was a sticker that said Made in China. This idiot failed to read my description and then accused me of lying and said, you didn't build this, you bought this from China, and then you sold it by pricing it too high. What's funny about that is this was around the time I started my shop, and my lanterns were priced too low, so I was only making a couple dollars on profit. But this idiot then lies and say, I can go buy this same thing at the dollar store for $1. Yeah, good luck with that. Dollar store don't sell them. Nobody does. You know, when you make a pact with yourself at whatever age and you stick to it, that becomes you. That becomes you. So, I think I made my point. I just wanted to share that because, you know, I shouldn't have to prove myself here. I think every video speaks for itself, but I guess sometimes you got to deal with these trolls and these jerks, and this is one of those times. You know, I've shared a lot of personal stories with you over the past year and a half when normally I would never do that. I was always a closed book. Always a closed book. I never told people personal stuff about myself. I just didn't. As a matter of fact, when I used to do my comedy TV show back in the 90s, one of my cast members got angry one day, took me aside, started yelling at me right before we were supposed to go on the air and said, "Who are you? Nobody knows who you really are. Who's the real Mike Burke? Who are you?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I'm me." "Yes, but you don't let us in. You don't tell us anything about yourself. We don't know about your personal stories or life or nothing. Nobody knows who you are. Who are you?" And I just pretty much screamed, "Shut the hell up! I'm Mike!" So anyways, but I was a closed book. I didn't talk about myself. So here in these videos, me telling you about having to forgive someone and move on, and then I tell you my personal stories, that's not easy. I did a video about how not to hate. That was the toughest video I've ever done because I revealed things that I would never want to reveal. But I went through a period of time where I had hate. I wouldn't even necessarily say hate. I'm not really a hateful person. But, you know, I learned lessons about what happens when you hate. I don't want to rehash that video. You can go watch it. But what I've been doing here has not been easy. I don't like revealing all this stuff. But I feel like everything that I'm going through can't be for nothing. All of this stuff that's happened to me in the past 2.5 years, it can't be for nothing. So that's why I make these videos. Because I want to make sure that it's not in vain. That maybe I'm supposed to teach people about what I'm going through because it's going to help others. I feel like I've become an advocate for the blue-collar worker. The person who gets walked all over by their bosses or their co-workers. The person who works their butt off 40 hours a week or more, does the job to the best of their ability, and yet they just get stomped on. So I believe that we can make it on our own in whatever business you decide to do. And that's why I do this. That's why I do this. And at the same time, I'm trying to earn an income, and I'm pretty open about that. So yes, if people come and join my website and buy my products, that's great. Because I'm also here to make money. Period. And I'm not hiding that fact. I'm not spamming anybody. I'm telling you right now. Telling you right now. And not only am I telling you right now, I've told you in other videos. I think it's pretty obvious when it says, making money with Mike. I mean, really? I mean, what else does that mean? Making rainbows? Making ice cream? Making cakes? And that's what we're doing. When it says making money with Mike, we're actually making cakes. And we're making little cupcakes, too, to go along with it. Tasty cupcakes and buttercream on top. Ooh, that's tasty, because that's what we do when it says making money with Mike. We're not learning about making money. No. No. We're learning about making cakes. Okay. I actually like being sarcastic, by the way. If you, I do. My favorite type of humor. I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching the video. Click on the big red button to become a subscriber of my YouTube channel. And then click on the left side to go to my website. It's jam-packed with fantastic content and access to the very money-making opportunities I do every day.
You suck!
Shut it, Granny.
Bite my ass!